this is what we did in the last uh, lecture. Okay, and I believe okay everyone okay you should have an idea of what it is right now because during the group discussions, okay, many of you seek for the help from me, and then hopefully okay I have give you a good explanations okay in it and see okay if you could apply this in the future. So this is one of the way to do it. Yep. Sorry, it switched. Yep. This is 7 questions. Okay, which is actually the same as the table okay, which included in your worksheet. Again, I guess okay, most of you'll be able to understand okay the 7 of them. 呢7個你要知啦。Oh, and then there are actually different ways to do that. Okay, I gave you a lot of samples okay in the appendix, including a comment cards, a survey, okay, a questionnaires, okay, something like that. Okay, they are pretty similar, but we are having the same purpose of doing that. And remember, the next thing is the difference between the demographic items and the program related items. So remember, whenever we talk about demographics, even though if you search the word demographics in Google or in the searching engine, so they will provide you that an explanation is the background, okay, of the individuals or the personal particulars. 咁同個人資料有關嘅, okay. So in here, we only focus on the participants. And remember, if those questions are indirectly related to the program, so you could ask it as you could ask it in the questionnaires. And remember, demographic questions are personal particulars related questions. Okay. And for program related questions, so any questions that are related, directly related or indirect related to the program could be asked, okay, in a different section. So you could see in this table or this page, these are actually some of the basic or the most typical demographic questions that being asked in a survey or even in an interview. But I want you to pay attention this. Whenever you ask a demographic questions, please think of whether you really need to ask these questions. If you can think of the reasons of asking these questions, so I would say, or I would prefer you to go ahead. But if not, okay, you could find it like it's too information loading, okay, too much like irrelevant informations in it. So I would say you could actually cross out or ignore that questions, because this might not be helpful okay, for you to design the program. 咁都係再三提一次嘅啫。任何問嘅嘢，如果同個互動冇關嘅，就千祈唔好問啦，得唔得？ And for the program related questions, in this appendix, okay, they provide a lot of different types of formats. So we got like those like the most typical one, okay, the multiple choices. Okay, other than multiple choices, we have some open-ended questions. So what do you think? Okay, please comment, etc. Okay, so this is some of the questions that you would see in the demographics part. I like this. So it's a mix, okay, including like some open end, okay. Even though if you think that okay, yes or no questions is more than enough, of course you could just ask them to pick yes or no, or you could give them a lot of options, and then to put down the numbers, okay, to set the priority. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 for the highest priority, and the bigger numbers, okay, will be the less priority. Okay, so these are some of the questions types. I would say during the questionnaires, please use the appropriate formats to do that. Okay, if you're asking people the gender, so probably, okay, there's only 2 choices. One is the multiple choice and one is the short answers. Okay, so I would say you have to apply your common sense, okay, in asking these questions. And then move on to the just a short recap of the PowerPoint. So in the notes, okay, we have teach you where you can gather these resources. So there are many ways to gather the resources. But the most directed way is to ask questions from the customers or the clients. So we could use some what we call the open meetings. Okay, we are happy to receive any inputs from the publics. So other than open meetings, we could use comment cards. So comment cards is a small scale one, okay, which is different from like questionnaires. So if the participants or the clients wish to provide any information, then just need to put and answer one questions. Okay, so this is what a comment cards used to do. So other than comment cards, okay, we could organize a focus group interviews. So that means a specific group interview, okay, for the groups of parties that you would like to ask questions from. Okay, 咁有啲時候，如果你覺得questionnaires okay 唔足夠嘅 okay it's insufficient to ask or not allow them to elaborate that much, then probably okay we will choose the focus group interviews, okay, to allow them to provide you a lot of information. And through observations and direct assessment, okay, we could actually obtain those resources from. So observations, so very often, okay, used in when you can't get information from the participants. So like in our target groups, like people with intellectual disabilities. So sometimes, okay, even though they may not be able to provide any response, okay, to you, okay, but we can use it as a kind of alternatives, okay， 尤其是智障小朋友啦，或者完全講唔到嘢，咁你唔可以問噶嘛，okay， 你問冇用噶喎。So the only thing we could do is through observations. And in some areas or industry areas like the personal fitness, or it requires one-on-one supervisions, sometimes we need direct assessment, okay, to do the assessment, okay, rather than asking questions. 咁例如從事呢啲健身行業嘅 ，OK， 可能就咁答問題未必係真係最理想。咁我哋可能需要到一啲嘅直接嘅評估啦。So they need to do different tests, which you have learned in the test and measurements, okay, in order to make a judgment, okay, of whether we should or make reflections around that. But of course, okay, the most economical way or the most cheaper way to do it is to ask through surveys. So surveys could be described in different types. Okay, you could use the traditional one or the face-to-face one, or even though like you could use the virtual one, okay, or the online one. Okay, but if you can't get answers or get some information by asking them, so the most better way is to do the resource. Okay, we take a look at what we have in our company, which is related to the participants, and we do a estimations. Okay, 我哋斷憑一個估嘅 ，okay 估計得唔得？ Okay, so this is what we have been doing in last week, and I hope you have an understanding of that. But if you don't really understand what's going on, so please let me know. If not, then let's move on to chapter 5. Okay, so in this chapter, we would talk about a more concrete concept of goals. So remember in the previous lecture, we have introduced the missions, visions, value, goals, and performance objectives. And this time, okay, our main focus is on the goals and objectives. So after setting the goals, okay, we will introduce a model called a BBP, okay, which we have to think of, okay, when we are organizing a program, okay, to others. So BBP is quite important, okay, especially in recreation programming, because it could lead us to a more further way, okay, or we could help, okay, our individuals, okay, to promote their health in the different aspects. So after that, okay, we will introduce the BBP to you, and then we will move on to describe, okay, the how we're going to design our program. Although we understand that we need 6 elements, okay, when we design a program, but how about in the reality, okay, when we have those 6 elements, okay, what should we do with them? Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this lecture. So we are now at box number 4. Okay, remember there are a total 9 of them. And now we move on from the client input, which is the need assessment. Okay, client input 我哋要知道顧客嘅需求啦嚇，需要啦，正正就係個 need assessment. And then when we understand the needs from the clients, what we do is pretty simple. We just need to set the goals of the program. Okay. So in this chapter, okay, 2 main parts: program goals and program design. So, but before that, I want you to do a short memorizations of these 2 things. So could you identify which of the following is mission and which of the following is vision? So spend 1 minute, okay, to do that. Remember, vision, okay, is something that has never happened yet, okay, but it's going to happen very soon. For missions, okay, they are something that people used to do in daily. So spend 1 minute, okay, to check, okay, or to see whether you know this is a missions or this is a visions. Okay, so the answer is pretty straightforward. Okay, let's take a look at the first one. This is actually one of the elderly organizations in Hong Kong. So an agency provides high quality comprehensive service, meet the needs of the society. Okay, we we try to provide service that the society needs, and to enable the individuals to help themselves, okay, even though to take care of others and to build blah blah blah. So this is pretty straightforward. This is what their organization is doing every day. So this is the mission. So the next one is a golf club, which is a private golf club. So their aims is to provide premier golf, okay, 高爾夫球、亞精、遊艇、recreations, 康樂, and dining service, okay, in a friendly manner that exceeds the expectations of the members, guests, and visitors. So this is what they are actually doing every day. Okay, so this is also the mission. Okay, so how about the last 2? So with all these changes takes place, okay, they make a lot of changes, and the club is 1 step closer, which means that this is not the end yet. It's an ongoing journey, okay, and they didn't achieve it yet. So pretty sure this is a future tense. This is a vision. So the last one, okay, none of the non-government, non-profit organizations, the Jockey Club. Okay, so pretty sure, okay, they're not at the world leader right now. Okay? Although they are at the world, this is a well-recognized organizations, but not the leader yet. So the vision. Okay, so you could see the tones, okay, a bit different, and you will find out that, okay, for the missions, okay, is what I should call like it's much more realistic, okay. But the one below, okay, is something that's is very ideally expected. So the next one, goals and objectives. So please spare 1 minute to identify, okay, differentiates, okay, between these two. So remember goals. Okay, goals is not measurable. It's not measurable, okay, in this course. Performance requirements, okay, or the objectives are measurable. Okay, so please spare some time, okay, in doing that. And I will get back to you in 1 minute. Okay, as said, okay, goals is not measurable at this moment, okay, and objectives is measurable. So if we use this as an indicator, pretty sure that, okay, you will find out the answers. So for the first one, okay, to develop a positive attitude towards the future that is based on active and healthy lifestyle. So pretty straightforward. Is it measurable? No. Then it's go. So the next one, to be aware of new challenges in the community and to devise and carry into effect new approach to meet these challenges. Okay, so we try to be very sensitive, okay, to what is going on in the community, and we have to do something, okay, to fix it. So it's go as well. So the next one, okay, so on Sunday night, okay, there's a class, okay, we need to have at least 25 people. Okay, so it's quite straightforward. Some objectives. So participants will dribble the ball 1/2 length of the field by the end of the second. Okay, so you set a timeline and you see whether they could complete it successful. So this is a objectives. So upon the successful completion of this course, students will be able to understand the basic concepts, okay, of the program development cycle. So this is actually the goals. Okay, so if you can't get those answers correctly, okay, let me know, okay, why, or please think of what's the reasons behind. Okay, otherwise, okay, so you get it all right. So just a short recap. Okay, remember missions and vision statements. Okay, they are different. Goals and objectives, they're different as well. But when you put them all in total, this is what we call the organizational value. Okay, it's the value. Value include a lot of things. Okay, so okay. So in this lecture, okay, we want to focus more on the lower parts, okay, of the hierarchy. So which is the program design goal. So program design goals, okay, refers to the final spectrum, okay, of the goals and objectives. So that means, okay, they are the lower levels, okay, according to the graph shown in this part. When we design a goal, okay, we must provide directions and definitions to a program. So if we don't have a directions, okay, even though it's a very typical way to do it, okay, you want to focus on money, you want to focus on people, you want to focus on something, okay, just write it down, okay. But remember, if you write down, you need to describe the surface, okay, in detail by articulating what is supposed to happen to people as a result of participations. So this actually coheres with the first chapter. So remember, what is it called for the leisure participations? So leisure participation is different from participation only. Okay, so leisure participation, of course, is to participate in leisure activities, and people who lead these programs should make it happen. But when should it make it happen? It is up to the programmer's choice. Okay, so if you just try to deliver something, okay, to someone, and which is not really what they want, okay, or which really helpful, so I would say, okay, it's a waste of time and money. So that's why, okay, in the program plan, even though, okay, you say that, okay, swimming, okay, is good for students' health, okay, etc. So you need to provide some justifications, okay, and you have to briefly describe, okay, how does it going to happen. Okay, so this is very important. And when we know what the participation need, okay, before the program starts, so people tends to happy with that. And participants will become more resilient. It's become more flexible. Flexible, it means resilient, okay? Become more flexible if the program goal are addressed at the beginning of the program. So that's why, okay, we usually tell what is this program aims for, okay, in order to meet the needs of the participants. Okay, so that's why, okay, we have to understand their needs. Even though if you don't have any questions asking what their needs are, you have to at least add one of them. 就算你一條都冇嘅，咁你喺個問卷度咧，你點都要問一條，你最想得到啲乜嘢，或者最想學習到啲乜嘢。Okay, it's very important. So go back to the hierarchy. You will understand that, okay, these four of them are interrelated. So how about program design goal? So whenever, okay, we have those program goals, okay, so we start to think, okay, whether we should have those or not to have those. So remember, okay, in one of the what I should say. So remember, okay, if everyone comes to your program, okay, and they say that their own individual goals that they want you to achieve. So you may not be able to fulfill, okay, more or to answers, okay, answers all the inquiries, okay, from the participants. The only way to do it, I would say, I have to exclude some of them, okay, some of the goals. In the classwork, okay, I will ask you to design 10 goals, okay, in different aspects. But many of you, okay, you will think a lot of goals, which I think is a good thing. But at last, okay, you will realize that, okay, not everything could be included. Something must, or some goals, okay, must be removed, okay, or excluded from the program. So when designing the goals, okay, of the program, we need to pay a lot of attention to it. Okay, we have to check whether there's any duplications, okay, in between A and B, okay, or B and C, or etc. And that's why, okay, when we design our goals, if you want to be more unique, the more precise the descriptive one can be, the better the chance of designing and providing the service intended. So that means, okay, in the goal, okay, we should describe it in detail. If you don't describe in detail, so participants, okay, will not be able to understand much, okay? And if you write in detail, for those who are going to lead, okay, the activities, or for those frontline staffs, yeah, they will have more information, okay, to do that. So when designing goals, there's only one strategy that is recommended in the textbook. It's what we call begin with the end in mind. We look at from the results first. Okay, we look from the results. Many of the organizations, okay, they are result oriented. They don't care about what is happening, okay, in the middle. 咁我唔知你同唔同意我同我講呢句說話。你可能出嚟做嘢 ，OK， 好多時候有啲人都唔會理你嗰個過程係點樣嘅。 淨係睇結果嘅啫。Okay, they only focus on the result. Okay, in many daily tasks. Okay, you did every day. Okay, even though like if your family ask you to buy something, okay, they don't care. Okay, they don't care the process. They just need to have the final product at last. But if we use these concepts in recreation programming, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. The reason is because in the first lecture, which the only face-to-face lecture that I've seen you in the campus, remember I told you that for leisure programming, we need the participants to participate in it. If they don't participate in it, they won't have those experience. Okay, that so-called the exciting experience, okay, the enjoyable moment, okay, etc. Okay, so result-oriented is not a good way to do it in recreation programming, but we can use part of that. So we just take out the results and we have to think from the opposite sides. We have to think how can we design our experience to meet this result. OK， 咁我哋咧就要睇翻，我哋都會睇個結果嘅，但係我哋會喺個結果之前咧回帶，要用盡所有方法。OK， 諗一諗我哋要設計啲乜嘢嘅活動，先至令到佢有咁嘅結果。OK，so we are not only result oriented, but at the same time we need to see how the program is being developed or being delivered. So take an example in here. So one of the ways to do is the intervention. Intervention 咧，中文就係干預。OK， 干預。We make some changes. OK. So for example, the instructors, okay, will teach students free songs during the class that using the free chords. Okay, during the music lessons. So we know that okay, we need free songs. Okay, in free chords. Okay, so we have to think. Okay, the time is limited. Okay, so we might have to pick some short songs, okay, 短啲嘅歌啦嚇 and which fulfill the requirements of free chords. OK 喺3個 chord 入面啦嚇3隻歌。咁可能我哋知道時間係有限嘅 ，OK， 知道嗰個學生嘅能力，咁我哋可以當然梗係由淺入深啦，同埋可能嗰個歌曲嘅難度或者嗰個長度就會相對係縮短啲。OK，but if you're saying that OK they need to learn one song only, so we might only focus on one song. OK, in a more complicated, okay, or one long songs. Okay, so that's what we did. Okay, by interventions, we try to make adjustments. Okay, or manipulate. Okay, what is going to be happen. So that's one of the way to do it. So the next way to do it is the participant outcomes. This time, okay, we will take a look at the numbers. Okay, at the end. Okay, but we will see how we could make it to meet this number or to meet this target. Okay, we noticed that we want 90% of students will be able to play at least 3 songs. However, we didn't mention that okay, whether this is advanced songs or elementary songs. So very possibly, okay, in order to achieve these high numbers, okay, this high percentage number, so we could make some adjustment, make some adjustments, okay, like we will provide some easier songs, okay, for them to master rather than a difficult song. So in an old traditional way, okay, that people used to speak in Cantonese, 睇餸食飯, okay, so we need to see what we have, okay, or we have to see what final product we should have, and then what we add into the process, okay, so that's very important, okay. 好似行迷宮咁 okay, we are not going to enter from the entrance, but this time, okay, we enter from the exit, okay, we are a little bit cheating, okay, 有少少出貓嘅，但係出貓得嚟咧，其實你係可以令到參加者會係得到最大嘅得着。Okay, so that's the trend, okay, of designing a program that meets the client's input. Okay, of course, we need to combine these informations with the need assessment. Okay, otherwise it is useless. Okay, for us to do the need assessment. 咁之所以點解我哋要做個需求嘅評估啦 ？OK， 我哋就係要睇佢最終係要啲乜嘢，然之後我哋就會喺中間度加插一啲佢哋想要嘅嘢落去啦，得唔得？ So when writing goals and objectives, remember we need to clearly express one's thoughts, and we need to have a well-developed, clear and logical written language. So we have a written language, okay, of doing that. And most of you, okay, you're really familiar with that already, because in the internship 1, you have to write those report, right? So report, there's a word called DLO, okay, the direct learning objectives. So if you pay a little bit more attention in it, so every time we are using the same tone, the same sentence. For the DLO, through participating as maybe an intern or a supervisors, students will be able to plus a verb. So every time it's the same. Even though, okay, if you just do a little research, okay, on what the DLO you have already did, so it's the same. To plus a 动词, okay, to do, to promote, to learn, okay, to speak out, okay, to tell, okay, to differentiate, okay, blah, blah, blah. So this is what we do in the goals. However, remember, we just need to focus on one action and one subject only. Okay, we don't want to design a goal, okay, which is targeting, okay, different objects, okay, or different people. It's too broad. Okay, we want to more make sure specific goals. Okay, so that's why we need to do in this way. And keep the statements simple, just straightforward. No need to play with the English wordings. Okay, just write what do you think. Okay, to promote health, to enjoy, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So in here, I just gave you 2 examples. So this is the first example. So this is a goal or goals of a concert, okay, outside the cultural center. Okay, 喺文化中心外面搞一啲嘅小型嘅音樂會。Okay, so what do you want to do to provide a free live musical concert series to locate the concert in a single, easy accessible city with a scenic setting, to feature, to create, okay? So I'm not going to elaborate too much, okay, because these are just some factual sentence, but at least, okay, you have an idea of what the goal should be, okay? So to plus a verb, to provide, to locate, to feature, to create. So the next one is the Easter egg hunt. Remember, in the first chapter, we have introduced this activity to you. So what is the goals, okay, of hosting a Easter egg hunt competitions? So the first one, okay, they permit children to find an Easter egg to provide opportunities for children to visit the Easter Bunny. Of course, okay, even though like for the Discovery Bay, to keep parents from hunting eggs. Okay, that means there are more interactions, okay, between parents and their kids, and to help parents enjoy seeing their children hunt Easter eggs. Okay, so this kind of experience, okay, they want, or as an organizer, okay, we want the parents to guide those their children, okay, to do this activity. Okay, so any questions for the goals? It's pretty straightforward, okay, 2 plus a verb. So this time, okay, it's all about performance objectives. So what does it mean by performance objectives? Remember, something that is being measured, okay? We have a cutoff line. So for the performance objectives, mainly it's an observable behavior, okay, because we need the assessor to assess whether they perform good or not good. Okay, there's a clear cutoff line. We won't say he is good. No, it's not good. Okay, so we try to make a sound decisions, okay, on that. Okay, we don't want to having a gray area in that. 得就得，唔得就得啦，唔得就唔得啦。Okay, so that's why you see the pictures in here, pass or fail. And also, it must be included, okay, conditions under which performance will be demonstrated. So you have to be able to let the participants to show, okay, the process, okay, of doing that. And the next one is the performance of observable behavior will be performed. Okay, so it is pretty simple with the first one. Okay, the first one is all about the setting of the facilities, but the second one, okay, is talking about the skills, okay, or the thing they learn. And the last one is an objective criterion. Okay, we need to set up some criterion, 準則啦, or you call it rubrics. Okay, of whether it is a successful accomplishment of the objectives. There's a cutoff line, yes or no. Okay, it's very important. Otherwise, okay, you will not be able to see whether they have achieved the objectives. Okay, if everything is like marginal, okay, 全部都係差唔多啦，更加合格啦。咁其實可能你都唔接近合格嘅。Okay，咁所以我哋要有一個好明確清晰嘅 cut off。So this is one of the example. It's a baseball clinic. So you will see in the following, okay, there are 4 of them, and each of them, okay, has the numbers on it. Okay, you see 70, 70, 0.05, okay, or even though like 70%. So what does it mean? Numbers are measurable. Okay, 1就1，2係2，得唔得？ So it means that, okay, you need to give them a cutoff line. Otherwise, okay, it will be very difficult for you to make the decision. 如果全部都係灰色地帶咧，你到決定嘅時候你好難。呢個又要，嗰個又要，咁你要得邊個咧？係咪？ So for the baseball clinic, participants will be able to correctly answer 70% or more of the written exam on baseball rules. So you want them to understand the baseball rules at least. So secondly, okay, participants will be able to correct answer 70% of written questions related to baseball strategy. Okay, 策略上面你要識執行。Okay， 仲要70%喎。And participants' batting average will have increased, significant increase by 5%. 可能上呢堂之前，你個擊球率係極低，上完之後咧。咁啊，希望你話提升到你嗰個準程度啦。咁呢度就話一定要5%。咁如果5% 唔過咁點啊？即係100球入面，原先95，原先80球嘅，跟住你要起碼84球。OK， 咁如果達唔到標嘅話，咁你咪點啊？你咪達唔到標咯。OK，so that's the performance objectives. One more thing is, performance objectives are really related to the goals as well. The government, okay, they will used to take a look, okay, in the numbers of performance objectives. So take an example like goals, okay, they usually have 5 performance objectives. I prefer an odd number. Because if they could meet half of the performance objectives, I would say they could fulfill the requirements. But if you are not setting odd numbers, what if 2 out of 4, okay, does not meet the expectations of the performance objectives, and the rest of 2, okay, they meet the performance objectives. So you put yourself in a very difficult situations because 1 versus 1. How could you say no? How could you say yes? So that's why, okay, at the beginning, we need to set out the rules. Okay, if this one is 1 and that one is 1, then you will get a pass. But if that one is 1 and that one is 0.5, okay, so you will not be able to get a pass. Okay, so pretty straightforward and a little bit tricky. Okay, on that. So when you design your program, you need to think in this way. Okay, you need to think something that is measurable and something that is not measurable. Okay. So the next thing is the BBP. BBP. So what is BBP? If you take a look at the whole wordings, it's benefit-based programming. So the myth is because parks, recreation, and leisure agencies provide something of value, but only as long as the pleasure experience lasts. So we believe that, okay, people in this industry will provide something which is valuable, but it only exists until the experience lasts. It means that if the experience is over, everything is over. Okay, although they would receive some new knowledge, okay, or etc., or some gifts, okay, but it's different. Okay, we mainly focus on the experience. So benefit-based programming is one of the model that we use in the leisure aspects, because we try to integrating the concept that value is added to people's lives following an on-site recreation participation. So if you don't participate on-site, you never have any benefits, okay, in recreation program. In other program, okay, it might helps, okay, but mainly, okay, it's not for like on sites. Okay, so remember, okay, you need to take part in it. I don't mind, okay, if you have the thing being created, okay, but I really mind that, okay, if participants not participate in it. 你設計一個活動出嚟好簡單嘅啫，你要個參加者參加，佢參與啊嘛，參與可能係一件難事。OK， 你同佢講完咗啦 ，OK， 你可以唔使中間嘅過程唔使嚟嘅，你淨係嚟完咗嗰一 part， 咁其實唔 work 㗎。OK，it doesn't work because you have never experienced those experiences. So when we talk about BBP, we have to focus on the first word, benefits. It means in the core values of this program or these concepts, we believe that, okay, whenever we hold a leisure program, we have the following benefits: psychological, physical, cultural, social, economical, and environmental. So for the first one, it's more related to our physical conditions. 同我哋嘅身體狀況啦嚇，有好直接嘅關係。So the second one,唔係，sorry，第二個先係。The second one is the physical one, okay, which is related to our body system. Go back to the first one, it's a psychological one. It's a more intellectual health， 同心智上啊 ，OK， 同心理上有多啲關係嘅。OK， 呢個係第二個。So number 3. Social and cultural benefits. So, what are the social and cultural benefits in recreations? You think of that. And then the more and more, this is economical benefits. How could the recreational programming does an impact on the economic way? OK， 咁做運動嘅喎，喺經濟上有咩幫助咧？OK， 我哋可以諗下。 And the last one is environmental benefits. 同環境有影響啦。So whether the activities that we are having, okay, is green friendly or not. If not, can we make it more green friendly? Okay, because this is actually the trend. 其實個大趨勢嚟㗎啦。Okay, so that's for the BBP, and I hope you understand what are the different types of benefits. So by understanding the immediate and potential long-term benefits, we're able for us to maximize those benefits opportunities. 如果我哋知道咗呢五樣嘢，亦都係佢哋中意嘅五樣嘢，咁我哋亦都可以藉住呢個機會探討一下究竟呢樣嘢可以點樣喺佢個活動入面出現，或者你衰啲講夾硬你都要揾方法令到佢出現，然之後咧就可以滿足到customers. Okay, so that's we could satisfy our customers in this way. So we will give you two examples after the break. Okay, but if you have time, okay, you can have a look first. Okay, the couple hiking and the youth summer camp program. So which has been printed, okay, or which has been shown that the next few slides. So any questions for the benefits? So if you have any, okay, please send me a text message in the text box. If not, shall we take a 10 minutes break? And then when you come back, okay, we will finish these whole sets of notes, and then we will move on to the in-class assignments, okay, to allow you to stimulate you to think a little bit. Okay. So if you have any questions, please raise out. If not, then I will see you in 10 minutes. So if you didn't do your attendance checking yet, okay, please send me a text. Okay, so let's come back. So before the break, okay, we have introduced the different benefits, okay, of organizing a leisure program by actively participates by the participants. Okay, if they never participate in the program, so they will never have these benefits. So now I want you to pay attention to this part, okay, is what we call the benefits chain of causality. So this is under the BBP, okay, which is under the benefits-based programming. So you could see there are different shapes, okay, of the different shapes of the figure, okay, in this table or this flow chart. So you will realize that okay, there's an oval shape, okay, 橢圓形啦嚇 there's a rectangular shape, 長方形啦嚇 there's a perpendicular square, okay，嗰個叫咩？平行四方形 ，okay，平行四方形 ，okay。So you will see each of them, okay, are representing, okay, different keys. So for the red one, it's actually the activities, okay, the leisure activities. The blue one, you have to participate in the program in order to receive these benefits. Otherwise, okay, you will not be able to have any one of them, okay, if you're not going to participate in it. And the next one, you will see a long-term benefits. Okay, so long-term means after the program. Okay, after the program. Okay, until see how far they could sustain for. Okay, if they could keep sustaining to do programs, so I would say okay, it keeps alive. Okay, but if they are not going to participate in the activity anymore, so this part of it will be fade out, okay, or will disappear. Okay, will 消失㗎啦. And the one on the right side, okay, in yellow color, is what we call in long-term societal benefits. So how would this program, okay, affected the society, okay, in a long-term basis? Okay, so this is how the chart, okay, looks alike. So now I want you to take a look at the first one, okay, couple hiking, okay, in a natural area. It means that okay, a couple, maybe a boy and a girl, okay, they go to hiking, just hiking, not camping, okay, 去行山啫. So what are the on-site benefits? So they feel good about getting exercise. Okay, so this I would say is a psychological aspect. Okay, 開心啦嚇. So they enjoy sights and sounds of nature. Okay, I would say it's a kind of physical benefits or economical benefits, because good sights, okay, or a good sightseeing point is not easy, okay, to find out. Okay, so whenever they know this is a good sightseeing point, it may raise, okay, the number of tourists, okay, to come across with this nice view. So number 3, mental rest is a more social way, okay. So I would say this is the psychological or social aspects. 咁心智上啦嘅休息啦，或者心靈上嘅休息啦，都會同心理有關多少少嘅。So they learn something about natural environment. I would say this is environmental benefits, because they learn something that is related to environment, and they will be able to transfer the message, okay, or to spread out the message, okay, of being environmental friendly. Okay, we notice that, okay, the environment, okay, around us, and in the consequence, okay, we will have to be an environmental friendly guy. Okay, so if you take a look at the right too, it's more at the social aspect. They maintain an open communications with the partner, So there won't be any like arguments or conflicts, okay, between two of them. And they are happy to communicate with each other, okay, whenever if there's any like conflicts or whatever. But anyway, okay, it helps for doing this. And to avoid breakup, okay, because they are feel closest with each other. So if we just take a look at the blue part, okay, blue part. Think in the programmer's view. Okay, so when you organize a program for a couple, do you think, okay, we can meet these 6 elements? 咁究竟我哋可唔可以做到呢6樣嘅效果呢？ And your answers might be part of okay, 3 or 4, okay, they should experience that. So how about the rest 5 and 6? Okay, if we don't ask them to learn something, they might not going to learn something. Okay, they just go to enjoy and feel relaxed, okay, during the trip. So that's why, okay, that's why if we found out that a few elements or a few criteria, okay, that we can't meet, so what we can do is we have to stay and wait and to design something, okay, in order to achieve the all elements, okay, under the benefits part. Okay, 咁所以我哋好多時候咧，如果6個入面我哋做咗4個嘅，但係有另外2個我哋都知道係可以做到嘅，但係問題係冇呢個物資嘅話咧，咁我哋就要諗方法啦。如果冇物資，睇下有冇錢買啦。如果就算冇錢買嘅，我哋都要諗到有咩方法可以做到咁嘅效果。Okay, so it's very important, okay, to know that. So after they take part in the activities, for a long-term basis, they will have the following feedback. So if they feel good about exercise, this is to better or maintain a physical fitness, okay, especially for those couples. 咁年青人啦，可能係對嗰個健康嘅意識啦，可能相對會係低啲，OK。但係上完咧都起碼要知道，原來我要保持翻呢個體格嘅，OK，我要1個星期做幾多日，或者做幾多運動，blah blah blah，OK。And for mental rest, so why do you need to take rest? The reason is because you are tired, okay? You need to refresh your mind, okay? And when you resumes work, okay, after that, okay, you will be a more productive, okay, in the working environment. Okay, so this is the second. So enhance the stewardship ethic. Okay, so whenever you learn something new, which is related to the environment, so we would try to let participants to know that, okay, you are the one who manage, okay, the life of the outdoor environment. Okay, stewardship 就係講緊個管家管理 ，okay, the management persons. Okay, I'm not saying that, okay, you will be the management persons after that, but when you learn something new, okay, you will be able to manage, okay, things related in the future. Okay, so if you will be able to manage things in the future, it will also lead to another effect, okay, which we will talk about next slide. So for maintaining a close communications and to feel closer with the partner, so we could increase, okay, or decrease the chance of having a single family, with a single family, okay, people live in a single family, or of course they could avoid the breakup rate. Okay, but you will see for the for the avoid breakup rate, okay, is only actually one of the options, and you see there's a dotted line, okay, which is interrelated, okay, with the box below. So now, okay, you have an idea of what are the long-term benefits, okay, of having a couple hiking activities. Okay, if we go a little bit more further in a society view, okay, in a society view. So if okay, you can maintain your fitness in an economical way, okay, what it could help it could decrease the health costs. Okay, decrease the health costs. So it's true. Okay, if you do more exercise, that means you won't get tired very easily. So pretty sure, okay, it would help to lower the cost. So mental rest, okay, it increased the work performance, but at the same time, okay, they could have a more high productivity rate. So you may think that, okay, does this mean that, okay, if I go to couple hiking, okay, it could have a high productivity rate? In general, okay, it is yes. Okay, but of course, it depends on how you work on it. So the last two, learning something about natural environment, it allows you to have a fewer environmental problems. Okay, our environment is being protected. Okay, so it's good. And to maintain an open communications with partner and feel closer with the partner, which could have a more intact families. Intact families means okay more families without any trouble. OK，咁通常咧都會係減低咗intact family 咧就係一個完整嘅家庭。OK，完整嘅家庭。咁理論上，如果從長遠嘅方向睇咧，係大致上都好嘅。OK，but of course, so you ask, where will it be affect from? OK, so it depends on how often you do this exercise. OK，咁有啲時候咧，可能都會問究竟幾耐啊 ？OK，都好難答到你。OK，咁但係由始至終，你會見到一個咁嘅活動。OK，隨住時間嘅改變啦，或者就算我參與嗰一日嘅 ，OK，我哋都可以灌輸到個信息。信息一個傳10個，10個傳100個。OK，咁到頭嚟咧，幫到嘅都係我哋，同埋幫到嘅都係參加者。OK。And even though okay, they could change the nature okay, of the event or change the format, okay, they are having a couple hiking in truffle, okay. So this could also boost up the economic boost up the economic the industry, okay. 喺經濟上面啦佢都會幫到一啲嘅唔同嘅行業啦。OK， they could help for different people working in the recreation industry. OK, they could create more opportunities, or they could create more money, so okay, revenues, okay, generate, okay, from that. Okay, so all in all, okay, I would say even a small program, okay, it could have a very large impact. Okay, from where okay he participates in the activity. Or if we go further, okay, it is more in the societal benefits. So when you think of your program, okay, I want you to try to expand, okay, or try to think more, okay. So in drawing this casualty graph. So now, okay, you understand that PBP okay, has a lot of benefits. Okay, we got some short-term, long-term, okay, in the societal, okay, aspects. So what I want you to pay attention right now is when we design a PBP, okay, we need to follow the 4 steps. Okay, the following 4 steps. So for the first step, so we need to take out the issues. Okay, we need to find out okay the reasons of having that program. If you can't find out the reasons of having that program, so what it could be, I would say it is quite difficult okay, for you to ask for money, okay, or ask for someone's approval in doing that. If you can give issues, okay, that is directly related to the program or related to the program itself. So I would say okay, they would prefer that. OK， 咁所以咧第一樣嘢咧，我哋要揾清楚究竟我哋係因為啲乜嘢而去搞個活動先。OK， 如果你唔可以好確實係做啲乜嘢，然之後咧你就同人哋講話要攞錢去做，其實根本就冇可能。 So that's why, okay, we need to bring out the issues. And after bringing out the issues, we know that, okay, it is valuable, okay, for do the investment. Then you need to think of the goals, okay, of the program. Okay. And then after that, okay, we need to think of the activity components. Okay, so what should these activities include? They should have a day camp or instructional class or etc. We need to think of the activity components. And at last, after the participant has participated in your program, so we need to think of the outcomes, which is actually pretty similar to the goals. Okay, but this time, okay, it should be measurable. So one of the examples that I raised out in this class is the senior walking program. So senior walking program is pretty straightforward. It's just old people with sticks, okay? They could walk around. But why do we need to promote this program? It's because according to the Department of Health, we realized that, okay, the inactivity of the senior citizens is really, really high. So therefore, okay, we want to organize, okay, a event, okay, to raise their awareness, okay, of these, okay。咁我哋都想藉住呢個機會啦，提醒一啲嗰啲叫老人家啦嚇，去進行呢個活動嘅，OK 係因為咩原因？就唔係話啊我為興趣，OK 我係 OK，we need to have a reason behind. So the target goal of this program is, to purposefully address the issues of senior citizens activity. Okay, so the reasons of doing this program is to deal with this issue. So a BB walking program will be developed and to encourage active and healthy lifestyle among citizens. So this time, okay, they're targeting, okay, those elderly, okay, for this program. And we will know that, okay, what they will achieve, okay, after participating in this program. I don't mind, okay, if you have set one or two more goals, okay, in this part, because this is quite a broad part, okay, to discuss. So at last, the activity has been established, called the senior walking program. So the goal statements, okay, of people who participate in this program, so is to have the knowledge, okay, of local walking resources, to be able to develop the perceived competence to complete all aspects of daily working program. Number 3, to develop a positive attitude towards the future that is based on active and lifestyle. Number 4, to enhance the quality of the program for all the participants through this walking program. So all of the goals are really or pretty straightforward and positive. Okay, so that's why we need them to take part in it. So the performance objectives would be, after the programs ends, we have to check the pre-test score and the post-test score. Whenever the post-test score has increased, it means that, okay, it helps. If the post-test score lowers, it means it doesn't help. So during tests, okay, or ask them to describe, okay, the 3 personal benefits of doing exercise or participating in this walking program. So they have to tell us. If they don't tell us, we will not be able to assess whether they know, okay, how to do it. So, and the rest of them, okay, they need to answer 70%, okay, of the multiple choice questions or the written questions on this topic, the danger of physical inactivity and community resource. And at the same time, okay, point number 3, okay, they have to describe at least 3 personal benefits, okay, obtained from the walking program. So you could think of your benefits. I'm not saying that this is the only answers. Okay, there are more than 100, 200 answers. Okay, so just to pick the one that fits you. So any questions for the BBP? Remember the issue. Then we have the target groups. Okay, the target program. Okay, and then we have the program name, and then we have the benefits. So this is the sequence. 佢個次序係咁啦，先有個需求 ，OK， 跟住就去設計個活動，跟住去執行，跟住去檢討啦。Okay, so this is the way to do it. So the next part. So when we design our program, we need to see the target groups. So since leisure recreations requires participants to participate in the program. Okay, so people are the foundations of our discipline. So if we don't understand what the people need and we provide something they don't need, so they were not going to be happy, okay, with that. So that's why we spend around 10 minutes to understand the people characteristics, which might, okay, program properly. So whenever you understand, okay, the people characteristics, you'll be able to handle it much more easy. Okay, so don't try to offer a program for all people at the same time. So it's a time wasting and so complicated. OK， 咁啊，係啦，好嘥時間，亦都唔會達到個效果。但係當然有啲時候就冇得揀啦。咁佢哋可能要一次過 entertain 好多人。So in the next table, scholars has divided them into different aspects. So including the gender, okay, according to the gender aspects, according to the level of the training, okay, or the competitions, okay, they will design the numbers. So sexual orientations, physical or cognitive abilities， 可唔可以都要 check 佢嗰個身體嘅能力啦嚇，係啊等等。And life stages and age group. Okay, so we could take a look from these aspects as well. So the first aspect is the young childhood. I believe in the lifespan course, okay, you should have an idea of what the lifespan or the life stages, okay, of a human. So starting from 0 years old, okay, until maybe 60 or whatever, okay, is the main target group of us. So for young childhood, they used to have a lot of energy. So whenever you design a program, I believe you have to design something which helps to use up, okay, the energy. Otherwise, students will be hard to pay attention during your class. Okay, so this is the young childhood. And remember, don't give them too much tasks at the same time. They are not qualified, okay, or they are not trained to deal with these techniques. So for middle childhood, so we may focus on more in the physical abilities because this is the puberty of them, and they are having like a growth, okay, in their body system. Okay, so depends on which program you're using, okay, but if your program could apply okay this, then of course, okay, you can use this. And they show strong interest in group activity, a sense of humor, okay, their sex are not being separate, okay. So this is the young adolescent groups. So they're still young, okay, and what their strengths are, okay, they have a great capacity to try new tasks and improve in organization skills and activities. And they are much more self-conscious. Okay, 咁佢哋都會有少少自律性㗎喇。OK， 但係就正值青春期得唔得？ And the next one, okay, is older teenagers. or adolescence. So develops individual identity. Okay, they try to separate themselves with others. They think they are their own individuals in the world, etc. So discover talents, strong likes and dislikes, 有強烈嘅喜好同埋強烈嘅不喜好嘅，得唔得？ And of course, they strive for independence. So how about the age? Okay, older than 20, older than 18 years old. So it's young adult already. Okay, they seek for meaningful relationships rather than only friendships. And they have a very clear career choice, okay, in that. And use a variety of recreational activities as well, okay, as a major element, okay, for people, okay, who wish to have the recreational program, okay, for that. So sometimes, okay, you might have to add a little bit safety elements, okay, or risky elements in it, because they used to want to test their competency. Okay, 咁你哋呢個年紀咧，通常都係個膽好大嘅 ，OK， 唔驚嘅 ，OK， they want to try to test whether, okay, they really can do it, okay, but I would say it might be dangerous, okay, but if it's not dangerous, then I will encourage them to try. And the last part, last two, the middle adulthood. Middle adulthood is the most productive years, okay, within the 10 or 8 years, because during that time, okay, they used to like take care of families, okay, rather than doing other things. Okay, they have a very specific focus and a very specific desire, so we to fulfill them. So that's why, okay, they put like put at the top. And activities often take on a family orientations. So they will be a family first, okay. But of course, there's still some couples, okay, they don't have children, okay. So, but as I said, these are only the minority group. Okay, we have to deal with those majority groups. And the last one is an older adult, which is larger than 60 or like 70. So people in this stage are usually changing physical abilities. That means when you design a program, don't try to train it like as vigorous, okay, as normal, okay. It's different. And they're generally, okay, secure and provides a leadership in voluntary organizations. So some of them, okay, they don't mind to reflect on what they've learned in the past and to share with others. So at this age, okay, you could be able to participate, okay, in these activity. So seniors, 61 plus. So people in this age, okay, can be active or passive, depend on the health status. Some of them, okay, are really, really young, okay, they are really active. But some of them, okay, if they are not that lucky enough, okay, they might have to stay at home all the time, okay. But starting from today, okay, try to bring those messages, okay, to them and allow them to start for a class. And then the next part is the program area. So since, okay, you need to design your own program by your own, okay, your group. So I've highlighted some of the program formats for your reference. So in the next page, okay, you will see different types of games, okay. I got, you need to know the games, yep. And then you have to pick, okay, the one that you wish to have. If you are interested in outdoor, okay, then you just go to the outdoor column, okay, to pick the one that related to outdoor. If you are more like arts-based, okay, just pick the one under the arts-based. Okay, so there are more than 12 of them, Okay, you could choose the area first, and then you could pick the one that fits you. So in here, you could see so some of them, okay, like aquatics, adventure educations, arts and crafts, cognitive and literacy, literary, dance, music, hobbies, fitness, extreme sports, okay, blah, blah, blah. So I believe, okay, you will at least come up with an idea, okay, of which age should participate in which. So take an example, extreme sports. Will you introduce events to older adults? Probably, I would say no, okay, because it's a bit dangerous, okay, and you need to have a strong reliability, okay, on that. 咁啲 extreme sports 咧，我相信啦，唔會係啲好後生人參加。So like surface, okay, voluntary opportunities. So they're just doing surface. If you ask a students, okay, in this class, okay, to take part in the voluntary service, I don't think, okay, they would love to do that. But if you're focusing on the group of people, okay, who has already retired, I would say, okay, they're interested. So all in all, okay, I just want to give you an idea, okay, of what kind of program or activities, okay, that you could design in order to attract the client base. So you may refer to this. So program formats, the way in which an activity is organized and structured for delivery to the customer. If we don't make it in a very good format, if we don't choose the right format, or if we don't combine the different formats together, so we might not be able to fulfill, okay, the needs of the individuals. So we have to pay attention on that, okay, but I would say if you could get the right choice, okay, then probably, okay, people will come. So this is also another table showing that, okay, the development of the game formats. So at the beginning, okay, on the left side, it's suggested by Rosso and on all Careless, okay, Farrell and Lundgren, okay, Rossman, okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you can see different names. I can't say, okay, which one is the best, and I can't say which one is the worst. I would say it depends on the activity types. Okay, if you know the activity types, okay, so probably, okay, you should have an idea, okay, of which formats they are. So the last part would be the program design. So when designing a program, the reasons of doing that is to anticipate, okay, to expect, and to predict the interactions and to experience a model of the program. So when we design a program, we need to make sure that it is able to run, okay, in the program. And we have to make sure that we try to achieve what the customers expect. 我哋盡量都會係睇參加者想要啲乜，咁我哋去做啦。So we break down into 3 parts. One is the goals, one is the components, and one is the tactics. So it looks like this. So on the left side is the goals, the middle one is the components, and these components you should be familiar with them because these are the 6 components. And on the right side, it's a new thing with you. What is the design tactics, okay, when we dealing with different programs? So for design goals, of course, okay, we have to pick one, okay, goals or 2 goals or 3 goals, okay, for the program. And for the design components, remember the 6 components in the first chapter. And the last part is the tactics. So what is the tactics of designing a program? So many of you, okay, believe that you will just think in not that creative way is you just follow what people ask you to do。OK， 咁好多時候咧，有機會咧就係你會係根據翻前人或者其他人做嘅，跟住去做。OK，but if you use these concepts and applying in the need assessment, it might not help. Okay, because you are just following the same plan of the past. And at the same time, you didn't fulfill, okay, what the customers expect. Okay, so I would prefer use the tactics that we teach a little bit earlier in this lecture. Okay, and this is the word called projective imagery. We use the outcome-based concepts, and the technique we use is the projective imagery. 好啦，我哋係會睇個結果噶嘛 ，OK， 睇佢想要啲乜嘢，然之後倒轉翻設計噶嘛，呢個係頭先講。But this time, okay, when we know what is the outcome and we design something in it, and this time when you go for a dry run, okay, you need to go for a trial, okay, then this time we will look from the participants' perspective. Okay, so I know it's a bit complicated, but you just think in this way. You'd like drawing a comic. Okay, we draw the chapter 1, then chapter 2, and chapter 3. Okay, and then chapter 1 is equal to the warm-up. Chapter 2 is equal to the activity itself. Okay, and chapter 3 is cool down. Okay, so they are pretty similar, but you need to brainstorm it from your mind. Okay, so to foresee or to feel, okay, if that kind of experience is really exists. Okay, if not, then we need to make a lot of adaptations in it. So taking the role of others as to understand what they see as, allow it for rehearsal. If you rehearse for your program and you find out that, okay, the nature is a bit different, but the goals, it seems it doesn't really meet, okay, what we expect, then we have to do a little adjustments in it. Okay, so try and error is a good way to do it. And the last part is creative programming. So whenever create a new program, we want students to be more creative. And how to be creative? So the ability to overcome problems by approaching them in a novel ways. Novel ways means a new innovative ways by systematic developing innovative solutions to them. So whenever you come across to here, many programmers will be stuck because the program itself has been run for a long time and they can't think of some new elements in it. So the opposite of creativeness is stuckness. So stuckness, okay, is a habitual thinking that generates the same solutions to programming problems. Stuckness 即係堵塞啦。咁做活動嘅時候咧，好多時候都會去到呢一個步嘅。咁係咩情況下咧？就係你個活動搞咗好多年。Okay, so if your program has lasted for a long time, so how could we sustain? Of course, we need to add some new elements. Okay, new elements in it. So first of all, you need to have a broad base of the knowledge about the subject. Okay, if you don't really know what the subject is, you will not be able to have a broad base of knowledge. So, and then any techniques that could manipulate this knowledge and experience. So if you think this is not good, okay, but you intend to keep it, so would you make any adjustments, okay, on how to lead, okay, the program? So these are the techniques. Okay, techniques has many different ways, and of course, open to new ideas, okay, about this subject. It helps. So people may think of how. Okay, so you saying that, okay, creativeness, okay, and you don't tell me how, okay, to get those new ideas. You just ask me to think, okay, but actually, in general, we could copy some ideas from others. I'm not saying we are plagiarizing, okay, someone, but we just want to know the idea, okay, of how others program is. So we could take a look at the agency brochures of others. Okay, you could ask any friends, okay, which offering the same program with you, and then ask them to share. Some students will say it's very non-ethical. Okay, I would say it's not that non-ethical because we want a healthy competition, okay, among others，一個良性嘅競爭。OK， 你有資源，我有資源， okay， 自然就會將嘅品質點啊推高啦。Citizen suggestions is also one of the examples. Okay, during the open meetings. Okay, we need someone, okay, to tell us, okay, what is going on. Okay, and we could make a final judgment of that. So creative sections, it's like open meetings, or you could ask participants to send their requests, okay, to like people who are in charge. And need assessment, okay, is one of the very important one. I would say it's it's not that ethical, okay, but we can still use it as a reference. So popular media, okay, if you keep an update on the media magazines, okay, or social media, so you will come across some new ideas, okay, in here. So what we can do is try to not copy the ideas, okay, of others directly, but you could copy, okay, some of the opinions, okay, or ideas, and manipulate it, okay, or make some adjustments, okay, according to the limitations of yours. So these are some ways to make the program in a more creative way. And I hope, okay, if in the future you come across some problem, okay, of create a new program, so you could use this as an example, okay. So in conclusions, in this chapter, you know how to write the program goals and objectives. You know the word starting from to plus a word, okay. And when writing a program goals and objectives, you will notice that, okay, using the BBP, using the benefit-based programming, you will be able to provide more benefits, okay, to the participants. Okay, otherwise, every time, okay, when you organize this program, okay, with similar goals, okay, there are no any difference. Okay, so think in a more like a detailed way, okay, and then you will be able to find out the difference between A program and P program, okay, and in order to ask for the approval from the management committee, okay, to allow you to have this program. So there are many ways, okay, to define program area and formats, especially, okay, under the sport and recreational settings. So you just need to pick, okay, the one that fits yours or within your limitations, then you will be able, okay, to organize a good program. And remember, program design models, including design goals, components, and tactics, they are all interrelated, okay, and if you miss out any one of them, okay, your program will not be that completed, okay. So any questions or comments? So if not, then now, okay, let's move on to the in-class sections. So I want you to go on to Moodle. And you will see there's an in-class worksheet here. So please click on it. So first of all, I want you to have a group of students of 5 students. Okay, and this will be your group of the presentations. Okay. So after that, okay, starting from today, okay, we will have our worksheet number 3. Okay, and then you need to follow the same group mates. And what you have to do is you have to develop a program title and its goal. So whenever you form a group of 5, you put down the names in here, Mr. Chen, okay, etc. Blah blah blah. So and then this time, okay, you have to pick an organization. Remember, in the last week lecture, for the need assessment, okay, you have to design a program. The name of the program, okay, you have designed a new program. And this time, okay, you do as well. Please think of one organization which is related to your program, and then you think of one of the title of the program. So for example, just go back to the Nooks. I want to offer a senior working program. So since there's an elderly program, so you may refer to an elderly organization, for example, St. James Settlement. Okay. And then think of the need of the program. So why do I need to have this program? So for example, I realized that the inactivity rate of senior citizens is high. Okay. So due to the COVID, elderly use stay at home all the time, blah 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 blah, etc. So you need to give me some sound reasons, and I prefer you to state. You may use reference from the internet. So for example, okay. Let's see. Okay, so for example, I refer to this research paper. So lower levels of physical activity and high levels of physical activity are associated with high mortality. Higher age is a decrease of PA. Only 2.4. Only 2.4 to 29% of achieved PA recommended by PO. Okay, so you could use this as a reference. So according to blah 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 journal, or according to this is actually from HO. High age is also with a decrease of PA only 200. Okay, and according to this, okay, therefore we believe that the inactivity rate of senior citizens is extremely high. very high 冇所謂嘅，你自己寫啦。And at the same time, okay, due to COVID, okay, you stay time. So 我就咁先啦，唔好講 COVID 啦。Okay, it depends on your program. Okay, this time because this program is a face-to-face program, so I will ignore the COVID. Okay, therefore we believe that the activity is high. So the organization decides to offer a senior walking program for elderly. Okay, something like that. Okay, I need you to give me some factual informations. Okay, 實質嘅例子。And then under the target goals, please give me 8 to 10 of them. Okay, and the goals should include these areas, including the first one. What is the first one? The physical benefits. Second, benefits. The third one, social and cultural benefits. And the fourth one, economical benefit. And the last one, what's that? Environmental benefit. Okay. So you need to start from writing, okay, to enhance or to promote. To plus a word, remember. Active, healthy lifestyle for the adults. Okay, so this is one of them. Okay, right? Then you could put at the back physical. Okay, for example, second, to meet new friends, right? So this is a psychological, etc. I need a total of 8 to 10. And please highlight, okay, which aspects or which benefits, okay, aspects, okay, they belongs to. So what I want you to do is form a group of 5 and then think of one program that you wish to do for your group presentation. So you could change the title afterwards, but think in a more realistic way. Okay, you think a program that you wish to do it. Okay, and then you need to finish the rest of them. So for the program choice, you could refer to the PowerPoint. Oops, where is it? You could refer to this area. You could pick any programs in this area and think the name of the program. And whenever you're okay, you could start doing your job. The deadline for the submissions of the program design, the sheet, is at 5 o'clock. Okay, so please remember to submit it before 5. If you can't form a group, please let me know. Okay, if you wish to have a groups of more than 6 or 7, please provide a justified reason for me, okay, to allow you to form a group of 6 or 7. And if you wish to form a group of 2 or 3 students in a group, the same practice, you need to provide me a justified reasons of why you have to form a groups of 2, 3 instead of 5. Okay, so that's how it works. So I will use the breakout room functions. So just to choose the groups that you belongs to, and then you just get in. Okay, and then remember to put your group list on Moodle, okay, which is the hyperlink of the Google form, and then you could start to work on your program. So if you have any questions during the class activity, just raise up your hand and be patient, okay? Because many students, okay, will ask questions, okay, and then I will try to deal with your requests, okay, as soon as possible. So just be patient. So now the breakout room functions is activate. So you just pick out any rooms that you wish to join with your friends, and then let's see. And one more thing is you could share your screen, okay, with your friends while you're doing the exercise. 哦，
哇，
哎耶，